To the Modern Skein podcast. My name is Sharon Graff, and I am the owner of the Modern Skein, which is a yarn shop here in Montgomery, Texas.
And I'm Ceili. I'm your Gen Z yarn guide here at the Modern Skein.
And I think this is the first time we've done the welcome without a hitch.
Yay!
So, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. And if you're brand new, hope you enjoy the podcast. This is our space where we chat about what we're working on, what's new in the shop, maybe what patterns have caught our eye, what we're planning on, any group knit-alongs, make-alongs, things like that. And of course, any updates to special events or places that maybe we're traveling to. So, first off, we survived the storm. If you watch the news or are in the greater Houston area, you know that on Tuesday we had a completely wild and freak storm blow through that I don't think anyone was prepared for. We knew it was going to rain, but that's all we thought. Mm-hmm. And instead, we ended up with, I would not be surprised if there were tornadoes in it, severe winds, hail. It was awful. Shop lost power, but knock on all the wood, it was all good. No damage to the shop, and pretty much other than power outages, what I've heard, no damages to the immediate downtown area. However, driving home yesterday, there's a barn upside down.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, like one of those red metal barns, you know, just like up and upside down with its little roofs and legs sticking up. It was like, what? And then there's a shopping center where the Denny's is on 105. Mm-hmm. Okay, their sign that they put up, like not the Denny's sign, but the strip center signage, it looks like someone grabbed it and went and twisted it all up. Yeah, so
it's crazy.
Craziness. What about you?
We're all safe.
Good?
Yes, we're all safe.
Good?
All good.
Good. Yep.
Although I heard in the Magnolia area there was that construction worker who was killed.
Yeah.
That
crazy. Was rough.
Mm-hmm.
Magnolia and Tomball have gotten smashed the past couple storms. It's been rough. We had some trees down on the road, big trees down on the road towards our house, but not in our subdivision or anything like that. Fun fact. This is very unrelated, but we have a 99-cent store by our house that's closing, and so I bought a kiddie pool and some floaties to make a little outdoor sun lounging area for myself. The kiddie pool survived.
Really?
And did not blow out of our yard.
That's shocking.
Yeah, Josh was like, guess what? What? Your kiddie pool. And I was like, it's, gone. And he was like, it's still here.
Wow.
And it didn't have water in it, so it's not like it had the weight of water because I had drained it. So
that's crazy.
That was a shock. So, yeah. Anyway, let's get to knitting and the fun stuff. Needless to say, I had a lot of time to knit yesterday since we had no power, internet, nothing at the shop. So we couldn't stay open yesterday. Not that anyone wanted to get out in the nastiness anyway. So I ended up with a bunch of knitting. I do have one finished object though, so I will share that, and then I'll show all the whips that I'm working on. I didn't cast anything else on, at least yesterday. I'm not saying I haven't cast things on, but I finished the Fogline shawl. I had almost finished. I think I was showing it about like here last time. And so that was all that was left. And it is all good. So I will say I did not modify the pattern. I modified the color placement. So somewhere around, I think this section, somewhere here, she would have you switch, and instead of using a Spincycle as your background color, she would have it as your slip stitches, which is like your main color. But it was only for one section, and I just thought it would look weird. So I continued just using the Spincycle as my background color. And then I changed my main color. So this last section was supposed to be a totally different color, and I still have plenty of extra. Excuse me. So I just reused the natural from the beginning. So all in all, you need 4 skeins of Spincycle and 4 skeins of, well, if you do it to pattern, 4 skeins of Spincycle, 4 skeins of DK. I used 3 skeins of DK because basically my color, well, I don't know exactly which one it was, but the last 2 colors you only use like 100 yards of each, so I just reused the natural. So yarn used is Yorkshire DK from Red Stag Fibre for my main colors in Aberdeenshire natural and Eideann, which is the dark brown. Wow, I have not had enough coffee because we have no power at our house. Didn't lose it during the storm. Lost it this morning. Yay.
Figures.
Yeah. Luckily, there's a coffee shop 2 buildings down. Yay. To the rescue. And then my Spincycle colors are Rosy Maple for this section, Sex on the Beach for this section, and then both of these sections they're 2 skeins of Shades of Earth. So in the pattern, she has you use 2 skeins of the same color and then 2 more skeins of different colors. You could swap that for just 4 different skeins of Spincycle, or double up, or I had one lady buy just 4 of the same color because she really liked that color and wanted to do it that way. There's plenty of options. That being said, if you want to do these colors, we do have them available in the Spincycle. We are out of Yorkshire DK, however, Scout would be a good option, and there's a smidge more yardage on the Scout, so you could get away, if you do it like mine, with just 3 skeins, or you could add a 4th color in there. But we do have this bundle. I pulled colors that are pretty similar. There's a little more gray in this one, but it'd still be really pretty. I also pulled one other bundle. Take a look at this.
Ooh, I like that.
I guess I was feeling like summery vibes because this is kind of fallish. I will say that. It is. But if you wanted to do a kit like originally done, these Spincycle, so these 2 are Ranunculus, and then we have Midsummer and Sex on the Beach, so fun bright ones, and then paired with, here, you hold those, paired with some fun bright Estate DK. I just think that'd be fun.
I love that.
Yeah. So this is that is written backward. It's Scottish Sunset. The label says Sunset Scottish. Honestly, looks kind of like my handwriting. Heather, Water Avens, and Isle of Heather. Wow. Isle of Harris. But that would be such a fun one. It would be fun. So, if you want that, if it's still available, let me know. Or, I guess, ask if it's still available. Because this is, oops, time delay and all that stuff. But yeah, this was a fun knit. This was like one of those where you watch TV and you don't have to look at the pattern because it's just repeating the same stitch pattern over and over and over again. So it was a very nice and relaxing knit, and it'll be very cozy to wrap up in this winter. Not right now because it's nasty.
No,
it's hot and humid.
I do
working on
have a finished object.
Oh,
Yay!
Yay! Oh,
so this is my little market produce bag.
Cute.
It turned out so good. I love it. It blocked out really nicely too. So it's got 2 longer handles and then 2 little shorter handles here.
Like that.
And this nice round bottom.
That's super cute.
Yeah, I love it. It's a little hard to see on camera, but super, super cute. And it stretches too, so you can hold lots and lots of stuff in it.
Oh yeah.
I tested it out yesterday.
Yeah.
It's very nice. This is the Elisha's Nest Tote by Purl Soho.
Mm-hmm.
I followed another Ravelry user's modifications that are under the projects. I think hers is titled Rosemary Market Tote or something like that. But yeah, I followed her modifications, which have a slightly different lace pattern and the 2 sets of handles. And I just love how it turned out.
It is super cute.
Mm-hmm. So it calls for a fingering weight yarn. I would use Sandnes Garn's Tynn Line for this, or Ritual Dye's Undine. That would be really nice.
That'd be really good.
And yeah,
or Anne. Anne would be
You're
a good
right.
option.
That would be good too. Mm-hmm. That'd be really nice.
Yep.
Yeah, we have lots of fingering weight plant options.
And the reason she said I would use, if you haven't seen the episode.
So, I wanted to use some stash yarn, but I didn't have fingering weight cotton.
Very commendable.
So, I took my leftover lin from my Tolsta, and I split it into fingering weight. Which did take a really long time.
I was about to say.
So, it would have been a lot easier to just buy the Tynn Line, but at least I used my stash.
You used your stash.
I used my stash. I
yes.
did it. So yeah, if you don't want to split your worsted weight cotton yarn, you could just buy it.
The sad part is the other day I was looking at a pattern and it called for fingering. And I have some linen in my stash. And I was looking at it and I'm like, how much do I really want that color? The answer was no. But it did cross my mind.
Yes.
Oh, goodness. So for over the Memorial Day weekend, of course, Andrea Mowry does her long weekend travel. Well, it varies. It's usually a hat pattern. And so this year it was the Traveler hat knit along. We had quite a few people from the shop join in. And I did in a different way because I'm not a big hat person. I just don't wear hats typically, and the last hat I made, I lost on a train somewhere in England, so I'm kind of meh. I don't want to knit a hat.
Yeah.
So I decided, since I've already knit the Traveler shawl, and I did enjoy that, I would knit the Traveler Cowl by Andrea Mowry. And I've actually made quite a bit of progress on it.
It looks so good.
So
look at that.
I know. I'm obviously using Stay Ready from Spincycle in the Dream State, so the DK worsted. So good. And I'm also using some stash because I had 2 skeins of Dream State Stay Ready that I had started knitting a project on way back in 2020, and I had ripped it out because there was some, it was color work and it had some really long floats, and it was like pandemic knitting, so tension was everywhere and all the things. So I ripped it out a few years ago and came across the 2 skeins of Stay Ready again and decided I wanted to put them in here. So I have mixed, I'll say 2 new skeins of Stay Ready and then the 2 old skeins of Stay Ready in here, and it's so good. Like, you really can't tell where a skein ends or begins. It's awesome. So I have started my decrease here on there. So it'll be...
Ooh.
Yeah,
I like that.
This part's going to be kind of in the front. Yeah, it's going to be good.
So cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. So there's not much left to do on that. It'll definitely be done by the next episode. But it's such a good knit. Especially, okay, so I will say I had to look at the pattern repeat fairly frequently on the Traveler shawl to make sure I was doing the increases on the right spot. This, I don't know if it's because I already did the Traveler shawl, and so I was somewhat familiar with the pattern repeat because it's basically the same. Yes, the increasing is different. Obviously, you have a different shape. But by the time I got to, well, basically by the time I got to here, I didn't really have to look at the pattern. It's very, and even now I don't really have to look at the pattern, except to just what's my stitch count supposed to be. And that's kind of what I'm going on. So very meditative, kind of knit, and you get such a squishy fabric with the ridges. It's gonna be so cozy. And I just love Stay Ready. So
pretty.
We do have Stay Ready available in the shop if you are looking for it. We obviously have lots of good. I am knitting the adult large size, which the adult small and large, I believe, take 4 skeins of dyed in the wool. Nope. Dream State. That being said, I think I'm definitely going to have to go into my 4th skein, but I'm going to have leftover. So with the large. So with the small, you might squeak out 3 skeins. You just have to see. I think technically on the yardage that it says you need, it's like 10 yards more. So if you wanted to do like a contrast bind off or something like that, you could maybe get away with 3 Dream State. This would also be kind of cool if you threw in some non-Spincycle yarn, like you could color block it almost, or just use DK. I mean, there's lots of different options. And she also gives you, I'm pretty sure, kind of what your dimensions would be, need to be if you want to do it in fingering weight, so you would just have more stitches.
So pretty.
Yes. So that's my traveler shawl. Traveler cowl. I could need more coffee. By Andrea Mowry.
Oh, I didn't know.
Oh goodness! Don't.
Okay.
But look, like one of.
I know.
We have so many good colors in Dream State. We need to do.
We have a lot. We have a very good color selection.
So many good ones.
Ooh. Okay. Ooh. This is my Good Willow by Alice and Cribs.
So good.
I'm so excited. Look at it. I just finished the color work band, and I joined the front and the back, and now I'm just knitting down the body, and look how good it looks.
The subtle shading from the color shift is so pretty.
I love it so much. I just love it. Yes, so it's really nice. It has this little cable rib detail all across the sweater, and then the little floral color work section. I'm using Spincycle dyed in the wool in straw flower for my color work, and then Ulyss and Nuit for my main color, and it just looks so good.
It does.
I love it.
And if you are thinking, man, that looks familiar,
I did not do it on purpose.
No, but it's a really funny story. So several years ago, if you're watching the podcast and you've been watching it since, I would say, 2001, you may recall that Becky test knit the Good Willow in very similar colors. It was like a navy teal kind of color, and then
she used Grumpy Birds, I think.
I think it was Grumpy Birds. So Grumpy Birds is wildly colorful, but it can be all sorts of different colors. I think hers is a little more on the green side, but very similar.
It's funny because I found the pattern, or I had this straw flower, and I wanted to find a project for it. So I found this pattern, and I was looking through the projects, and I liked hers, not knowing that it was her, because I liked the color combination. So I was like, ooh, I want to do something like that.
Yeah.
I think it was after I had cast on, I looked at the username on there and realized that it was Becky.
Well, you had like pulled up. It was like, let me show you the one I like, and pulled it up, and I was like, I know that.
I know. That was funny.
It was. So that's awesome.
Yes,
Made good progress on that. So then my next one is one I just kind of, I'll say, found again. But I haven't shown this part. So a couple episodes back, when we got Imbue into the shop, Imbue is a sport weight yarn from Brooklyn Tweed, We still have quite a few colors. Actually, we are sold out, of course, of this one because it's navy blue and amazing. But Imbue is really cool. It's a merino, 100% American sourced merino. It's very spongy and squishy and soft. I love it. But I was wanting to knit a sample for the shop and really wanted to do something color work because at the time I didn't have anything color work on my needles, and I guess this is really still the only color work on my needles. And I was hemming and hawing about what to do, and I settled on the Great Gingham Raglan by Jessie Mead. And I have the hiccups now. And so I cast on, and I'm pretty sure I showed, it's a bottom-up raglan, which with a bottom-up raglan, you, of course, knit basically up to your underarms. Then you kind of put it on hold, and you knit your sleeves. And then through magical joining, then you come up and you decrease for the raglan. So what I was doing was I was just knitting the body, trying to figure out, did I want to do short sleeve? Because the pattern gives you options for short sleeve or full length sleeves. And I was like, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. So I was getting to the point, I still need to knit more on the body. But I was like, if I keep knitting on the body, I'm going to have to make a decision. So I paused that and decided to cast on the sleeves and decided to go ahead to do long sleeve. And I found the little cuff that I had started the other day. I say little cuff. It was cuff and several repeats of the color work. And I was like, ooh, color work. Let me do this. And so I motored through, and I have now a bit of a sleeve.
Ooh. I love these colors. It looks so good.
So this is the Imbue in Boro, I believe is the name of it. And then this is Mississippi Marsala.
Oh, it looks so good.
So I'm going with long sleeves, as you can see. So there's my sleeve.
It'll be so nice for fall.
Oh, I know. It's going to be
pretty.
so. And we have a few fall trips/events that this is going to be perfect for.
It's so pretty.
It's so good. So Mississippi Marsala and Dyed in the Wool. And then, like I said, Boro in the Imbue. Like I said, we still have good variety of Imbue available. It's one of the heathered. It's heathered, so it's more like the coloring of the heathered shelters, but immensely softer than shelter. I will say that. And I love shelter. Don't get me wrong. I love a good woolly wool. This is so soft. But you can still tell it's not a superwash. So I like that. And I don't mean that in a scratchy way at all. I mean it in sometimes superwash can have almost a slick feeling or a shiny feeling to it. They're not shiny yarns, but they have that slip to them because they've been chemically superwashed. This does not, but it doesn't have the rusticness. So if you're looking for one of those yarns that's like, I want to try it on superwash, but I'm sensitive skin or I'm nervous about it being next to skin, I would suggest giving Imbue a try. I feel like it's a good gateway yarn into that. Yorkshire Sport is also a good one because it is super soft in a wildly different way. It's still super soft. So that's the thing. You got to touch and feel yarn. I will say that is why we do the Instagram lives and these kind of things, is to try to convey the touchy-feely of the yarn for the people who can't touch and feel the yarn because they don't have a local yarn store. I just love this so much. You could make a cowl.
I know, that's what I
be super cute.
That'd be so cute.
Yeah. So good. If you do want to do a cowl, I know we have a lady who bought the hat pattern and then just didn't do the decreases and just knit it in a tube, round and round and round, and then Kitchener. Super cool. So that is that project. I didn't bring the body part. The body part. I did not bring the body to go with it, but hopefully next time I will have maybe a body and 2 sleeves.
Yeah.
So that's that one.
All right, this one is big. I put my bag down for it.
Oh, yeah. You made a lot of good progress on that.
All right, it's the long-awaited Moby sweater.
Ta-da!
I have the ribbing on the body finished, finally. And wow, I did more than I thought.
yeah, you've made good progress.
Wow, okay. And then here's the first sleeve. Is the back? Yes, it's the back. And it looks so good.
It does.
I love it. Okay, there is a lot of moss stitch on this pattern, but I surprisingly don't find it that difficult, or like, I actually kind of like it.
I was about to say, you know, coming from a person who back in the day, I would always say, oh, I hate to purl.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate to purl.
I know.
I really don't.
A lot of people complain about the moss stitch, like on, but it's not that bad actually.
Here's the thing. I think, and this comes from trial and error, to be perfectly honest. There's not one way to do something. I think at the end of the day, you need to find the way, the technique, the physical holding of the yarn and the needles that is comfortable for you. So whether that means, and then you will like it. So whether that's, oh, I Norwegian purl, I Portuguese purl, I doobity boop purl, whatever you do, that makes your knitting or crocheting. So I mean, this is multi-crafting. You have to find the technique of doing it that is comfortable for you, but that still gives you the results that you are looking for or that are required. For example, I will just say it. I know nothing about spinning, okay? I really don't. But I enjoy a good drop spindle. I do not drop spin the way that the few people that have told me how to do it, it's awful. I hate doing it that way. To me, the way that I do it is very intuitive, and so far my yarn is a steady thickness. It is not breaking. I haven't knit with it obviously yet. I haven't taken it off the spindle yet, so who knows, it may fall apart. But I enjoy it. It's comfortable, and I seem to be so far getting a product that I enjoy. It has unfortunately led me down the rabbit hole of looking at e-spinners. I have not bit the bullet yet on that. Who knows? Maybe one day.
Maybe.
I mean, the day you see spinning fiber show up in the store is the day you know I've gone full down the rabbit hole. But for now, I will be happy spinning my little bits of, what do I have in there? I think BFL.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's BFL because it's a long staple on my little drop spindle. I usually do it sitting in front of our fireplace, and Duncan comes up to me and he's just like, what is
what are
that?
you doing?
Yes. So, yes. I do, and again, I'm not saying but I do where I like smack it against my thigh and get it going like really fast, and that whatever that technique's called. I watched one of the Andrea Mowry YouTubes the other day, and it was a whole thing on spinning, and she's like, you do the worsted and then the Z and then the this and that, and I'm like, what? I just want to make yarn. So yes, that being said, yay. I don't need an e-spinner, but if anyone knows of a really good deal on an e-spinner, let me know.
Maybe you do need it.
That's the thing. I'm not going to do it enough to justify the cost of like a Daedalus or anything like that, because man, those things are expensive. But anyway, let's talk about my other. Let's talk about what should be taking up the majority of my time, and that kind of is taking up the majority of my time. I am doing a test knit for Max the Knitter, and
ooh, it looks so good.
So this is the old yeah, this is going to be the old-fashioned cardigan. So I have finished the body, separated for sleeves, obviously. And then I have one of the, what are we calling these? I think he's calling these front bands, neck bands, done. I don't know if you can see it, but it's kind of like a button band, but we're not doing buttons. So it's just like a folded over, really nice finished edge. So I need to do the other one and then do the sleeves, and it's finished. Lovely, lovely test knit so far. I'm loving it. Again, it's not moss stitch, but it's similar, where you're gonna knit in purl. I love it. It's very soothing to do. And again, I was definitely, I'm sure if you watch early podcasts, I was like, I don't like the apparel, because that's what everyone said. I still remember, though, watching a different podcast, and the lady was saying that her mother hated to knit and loved purl so much that she did her garter stitch in purl.
Really?
Purl both. Mm-hmm. And at the time, I was like, but it's like, meh.
If it works for
if
you,
it works,
yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. The yarn that I'm using is Yorkshire DK in the colorway Mar from Red Stag Fibre. Again, we are out, but he does have some on his website. What was I going to say about this? I'm knitting, well, obviously I'm knitting it to pattern, and I'm knitting, I think, the 4th size, because this will be like a sample for Josh at his shows, and then I'll steal it every now and then too. But I really like it. It's been a fun knit. The short rows are incorporated in the collar, which is super fun. And yes, okay, so here's this. I'm not modifying the pattern, but I am. So it is designed in an Aran weight yarn. The stitch gauge, there's 2 different stitch gauges, an 18 stitch gauge and a 16 stitch gauge within the pattern. I like DK at a 16 stitch gauge, especially a non-superwash DK like Yorkshire DK. There's something else that we have done in Yorkshire DK that was a 16 stitch gauge, and it was just gorgeous. And so when this came up, I was like, yeah, I want to do it, but I'm going to do it in DK, and I'm just going to get the stitch gauge. I love it because it's not a loose fabric whatsoever, but it's not dense. I think I have this thing about, I hate a dense sweater. Maybe it's because of where we live, and I want to not feel like I'm wearing armor. I don't know. But sometimes I will see these patterns, and again, no fault. Obviously, the denser the gauge, the more wind resistance you're going to have. So it makes sense for certain climates, obviously. But like I'll see, say, like a worsted or even an Aran weight sweater done at like a 22 stitch gauge. That thing's going to stand up on its own. I mean, that's stiff. Not that I'm saying I prefer something drapey necessarily. Like I wouldn't consider this to be overly drapey. I mean, it's going to hold its shape, but it's also not stiff. I feel like it's going to be very comfortable. I'm not saying that if you do it in Aran weight that it's going to be stiff. Just seeing the other testers' photos and everything else, it is a thicker, more denser fabric. Obviously, it's the difference between an Aran weight and a DK. That being said, Aran weight at a 16 stitch gauge isn't super dense, really. Especially the Aran weight that they're using, it's more of like the British Aran weight, so it's more like a worsted weight. Unlike some of the American Aran weights that are more like a chunky. Because we have to be, different from everyone else. Anyway, that's a whole nother thing on gauge and whatnot. So, moral of the story is, if you see a pattern out there that you like that calls for a weight of yarn that you maybe don't like, or you're wanting to modify it to be suitable for a warmer climate, consider matching the gauge so that your garment will still fit, but using a lighter weight yarn. I will say for the most part, unless it's done at a super, like, okay, a lot of DK patterns that are done at, say, like a 21 to 22 stitch gauge, you can easily swap that for sport at a 21 or 22 stitch gauge and end up with a little bit thinner fabric, a little bit less dense stitch, but still a warm sweater. You know, so that's just a little way you can, I'll say, pattern hack without changing and having to do like a lot of math on figuring out, well, my gauge is different, so now I need to go up or down in sizes, things like that. That obviously you can do, and that's fun too. But if you just want to swap yarn, do a swatch. It's not a dirty word, even though I don't like doing it. I know. But do a little swatch. If you like the fabric and it would be appropriate for the item you're knitting, obviously, if you're trying to knit like a cowl that's like supposed to stand up on its own at like a 24 stitch gauge, but you want to do fingering at a 24, well, that's going to flop. Okay, so if you're okay with that, that's fine. If that totally defeats the purpose of the item, don't do it. Okay, so common sense with that, but it's a little way you can change it up. I have more. Are we surprised? No, we are not surprised. So I have been knitting now 2 things out of this fabulous book. Also was informed her last name is pronounced Hyre. So apologies for that. So Sasha Hyre, not Hyre. I am knitting the Meera and the Safi out of this book. Safi is the shawl wrap that is on the front, and then the Meera is this sweater that you can customize for multiple sizes, long sleeve, short sleeve, whatnot. So I'm taking it a little bit of a step further, and I'm going to be making it a dress of sorts. So, show you. I am also modifying it because it calls for like a worsted weight, like a lin, so a DK to worsted. But I am doing it out of Undine, which is a fingering weight. So my row gauge is a bit different, but all in all, so I have a finished sleeve. So good. It's going to be so good. Nice. Yes. So the plan is I'm going to knit the other sleeve. So I have the sleeves done. And I did them to pattern the long sleeve version. So just a little ribbing cuff. Is to basically knit till I'm almost out of yarn. I think, though, I'm going to keep trying it on. And once I get to just a little past the hips, I'm going to put like side slits in. Ooh, I think that will just give it a little extra movement past the hips and everything. And I have plenty of stitches in my side seam because in the pattern you're supposed to just keep like a few of these stitches and then do the yarn overs again in here. But I kept the side seam solid so that I would have some wiggle room to do like a split or a crossover kind of design. So my goals. I have 2 goals. One, finish the cardigan before June 15th. It's not due on the 15th. I'm just self-imposing that date on me. And then also finish this by the 15th of June because we leave for a family vacation on the 15th of June, and I would like to take this with me. I think it'd be super fun. So I love it. Yarn is Undine, like I said, from Ritual Dyes. It is a fingering weight, and this is the color Slate. So it's like a very gray-green petrol, like a grayed petrol-y. It reminds me of like fish scales. Like some of the iridescent, it's not an iridescent yarn, but like that gray-green, oil slicky, fish scaly. Josh's like, are you knitting a fishnet? No. But it's fabulous. So that has had some love on it. What else? Oh, and then like I said, I'm knitting the Safi. The Safi is going to be a long-term project. I know that. And that's fine. Get it out of here. So I did start though.
Look how cute. I love the color.
It's so good. Ta-da! So really simple, kind of meditative mesh design. It's similar to the same mesh, but it is different than what I'm doing in there. But my plan, instead of doing it all one color, I'm going to color block it in 4-inch stripes. You want to hold that? So we're going to start with that, and then we're going to do these.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
They're so pretty.
So I am using Circulo Clea, which is a lace weight cotton, mercerized cotton. Brazilian mercerized cotton. We do have colors available, although since I posted about it a while back, it's been flying off the shelves. Another order came through for it. So some we are down to just a single ball. If you do one color, you just need 2 balls of one color. If you just do 2 color, like if you did like a color blocked version, you only need 2 balls. I will have leftover with this, but I'll have plenty to add like some fringe maybe to the edge. I think that would be fun. But I think like a color blocked version or a 3 color blocked version would be super fun with the Clea. I also have a few people using Eideann, which is a fingering weight, or Undine. Your dimensions may just be a smidge larger. If you're using Eideann in one color, you need 3 balls, or unless you are going to make it a little bit shorter. So just bear that in mind. I would also go up a needle maybe if you use Eideann or Undine, just to keep a nice open mesh. You don't want it too tight. I also have another person using single ply, like our Chelsea Lux single, and that's going to be fabulous. But I plan on taking this on my family vacation because this will be a fabulous project to knit on, and I won't have to worry about finishing.
Yes.
And yeah, it's not a lot of stuff to take either. So that is all my whips. Finally. So yeah, we do only have 1 copy as of the filming of this, so I recommend you grab it. And if we're sold out, I think you can buy it as an ebook. You can't buy the individual patterns yet, but I think you can get it as an ebook potentially, or just do a Google search and find another yarn shop that might have it. I need to find out if there's more to get a reprint or a restock. I have not heard that there was, though. Speaking of Undine and plant-based yarns, we did have 3 colors that were not in stock when we showed. So we do have them in. I think this one was one. I don't remember.
Yes, it was.
Okay, so this is Siren. Siren. This is a beautiful rich green. Gorgeous. Then we have Summer Peach. I mean, this would be a fabulous, summer top. Totally. So Summer Peach, and then this is Forsythia. So these are now available. I know a couple of the colors have sold out, like Jewelweed went like that, but we still have a good supply. And I will say, it's good yardage on here. You have 382 yards for a fingering, which normally you'd be like, oh, well, that's less than a fingering. It goes a long way. The body of my Meera is 1 skein. I just started the sleeve with a new ball. So you get good yardage with it, for sure. I know Kathy is knitting, I think it's the Dappled Lace Raglan by James Watts. It was designed in Undine. which would be a great option. And I know the Helix pullover is another great one, also designed in Undine. And the Helix pullover is done either as like a halter top or with long sleeves. So great ideas for Undine. And then we also have the summer issue of Lane. I don't think I showed that last episode. There's some good patterns in this one. I really liked this one because it kind of looks like crochet, but if you're not a crocheter, that'd be a super fun one. That tank top. And I think this one, I don't think it's what they use, but I think Lynn would be a good option for it, for a plant-based. There's a cute hat. No, that's not. Never mind. That's her own hat. Well, it's a cute crocheted hat. There's a lot of crocheted summer bucket hats. This is pretty too. A unique pattern. Fig toast. That sounds good.
That sounds really good.
That looks good. I'm hungry. Chive blossom vinaigrette. Yum. That's a cute little wrap. Cute. Look at that. Very ethereal. So like I said, there's lots of good patterns and articles in here. Little textured scarfette. All sorts of fun stuff. So definitely grab your copy if you haven't already. And yeah, that's cute.
Ooh, I like that.
Cute little preppy cardigan. So, as I have the hiccups again, lots and lots of fun, and they're just so pretty. Like, such a pretty magazine to look at. So, we have this. This is issue, what is it, number 21. So, summer of this year. We have a few issues of back issues in stock of Lane, but we are getting pretty thin, and they have retired a lot of the back issues. So I think the furthest back we go is issue 7. So if you're looking for that, we do have that available. Last but not least, I know this came in and it mostly went out, but we wanted to share the Santa's Garden Lynn that we got in and some of the new colors for summer. We do have another box that is supposed to arrive. It was supposed to arrive yesterday. It got delayed with all the storms. So hopefully it's here in a day or two, or by the time that this gets posted. Check out our social media for any updates, because I will post as soon as it gets back in stock. That being said, there's some new colors for spring. So this one right off the bat, this is spring green, spring and summer. So this is 8733. This is a really pretty, not too bright of a color, but brighter than, say, like all the dusty greens that they've had in the past. Very, very pretty color.
This one is lemon, and it's a vibrant bright yellow.
It is vibrant.
It's so pretty.
Very pretty.
It's very much stands out on the shelf.
It's vibrant, but it's not neon either.
Not quite neon.
So it's more like a true like yellow Crayola crayon. Like, it's very nice. It would be very cute as like a tank top, or to pop in as like if you want to do, say, more like a neutral or a blue, but have a little pinstriping in there, like pinstripe a Tulsa tee or something like that. That'd be fun. It's not a new color, but I love it. It's regatta blue, so that's always a good one to have back in stock. If you're looking for the number, it's 6044.
This is Twilight. Is this a new one?
That actually was new last year, but it went out of stock so fast. This is the first time we've gotten it back in.
It's a really nice purple, kind of more of a subdued purple, but still, it's really pretty. It's
like a grayed out, it's very much the color of Twilight, I feel. Like a grayed out blue purple kind of color. Very pretty. This is a restock. This is Blue Hortensia. This one always is a very popular color because it goes great with denim, but it's not like necessarily denim colored, but it goes really good with it.
This is rose lavender, a nice pinkish purple, lavender-y color. Really pretty.
It is. This is Sunny Lime. So if you're familiar with Sunny Lime, is pretty much across most of the color palettes of Sadness Garn, and it has come to Lynn, and I want to buy all this for myself.
It's so good.
I think it'd be just the cutest little summer tank top. That's all I want to knit right now is like summer tank tops. I want to knit the Rhoda by Irene Lynn. I think that's her name, Irene Lynn. I think so. The Rhoda sleeveless, a bunch of her patterns I really like. I want to knit the Gushy Garter tank from Park and Knit. And I love a good green for summer.
Yes. This is light blue. It's a nice baby blue color.
Good for the summer. Actually, this would be a good combo.
Ooh, I like that.
For fun stripes. This is a new pink. This is Bubblegum Pink. Very nice. A lot of times people ask for brighter colors in the Lynn, and so I feel like this summer they really pulled through with some bright colors, because they are typically known for more neutrals and like dusty versions. I mean, they're very wearable colors, but if you're looking for bright, now's the time. So this is Bubblegum Pink, 4314 or 15.
This is blue turquoise. Really, I love this color so much.
This color came out, I think, like 2 or 3 years ago, and it's been very popular ever since. I love it. This is another new one. This is Blossom. This is 4213. This is brighter than Peach Flower, FYI.
This is Orange Tiger, another very vibrant one.
Yes.
I would call this one a little bit more of a neon.
Yeah.
I think.
I would say that borders on neon. There's another brighter orange. That's, what is that? Tiger?
Orange Tiger.
Orange Tiger. And then there's, I believe it's called Shocking Orange, which is on its way. That's darker than that. It's still bright, but it's darker. So this is the lighter version. And then last but not least, this is Peach Flower. So classic colorway. Again, you can see the blossom is quite a bit. This is like the dusty classic color, like a dusty rose or dusty peach blossom. So those are the colors that we have in stock at the, I mean, we have a few other colors as well, but those are the ones that we got in the restock. Like I said, some of our other back ordered colors have shipped, and they should be here later this week, including Kit, which is what I knit my vacation vest out of, which is like that off-white kind of beige color. I believe we're restocking beige and almond as well in that. I can't remember if black is in there. I think white.
I think we already have black.
We have some black, but I think we're down to like 2 balls of black. I think there's some blues in the order. And I know the lilac color, that was one of the new colors that was back ordered when I originally got it, and I think the orange as well. So lots of new things on its way, so stay tuned for that for the summer plant-based knit along. That being said, if you haven't joined in on our plant-based knit along, you still have plenty of time, because that runs through the end of August. Plant-based knit along is open to crocheting, spinning. It's not real. Well, I guess if you want to spin plant-based yarn, I don't know. I don't know about spinning, so I've never heard of people spinning plant-based yarns that like it. I don't know. Maybe that's the thing. Weaving. I know last year we had an entry that was weaving, which was super fun. So weaving, crocheting, knitting, using a plant-based yarn, so things like Lynn, Tynn Line, Undine, Dapple, Duo, and Clea. I'm trying to think. Mojave, Dapple, Mojave. So any of those are fair game. Any patterns that you're wanting to. Last couple of newsletters, we've had lots of pattern ideas in both knit and crochet for you. For weaving. You could do like little tea towels or washcloths. You could do, I think if you have like one of those little tabletop looms, you could do like a bracelet thing, or like here's what you do. You knit or crochet you a market bag, but then you weave a handle and attach it somehow. Or like a crossbody strap.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I know that much about weaving. I know enough to know that I got a whole loom and decided I didn't like it after all. So, yeah. That's why I'm also kind of hesitant on the spinning thing, because it's like, I like my drop spindle, but I know it's going to be a hard rabbit hole to go down, so we're not going to do that right now. Okay, so I think that wraps up the podcast. Thanks for tuning in and watching. We do appreciate all the views, the comments, the likes, the subscribes. It does help us if you do subscribe and give us a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm and it helps this podcast get out to other people. So we do appreciate it when you have the chance. Or if you want to just tell people about it, we'd love it if you shared it on social media or with your knit group. And yeah. Trying to think if there's any other. We will have an announcement coming in June. I can't say what it is yet though, but it's going to be a very fun collaboration. I will just leave it at that. And there will probably be some form of YouTube togetherness. Is that tantalizing enough? And then there'll be an in-person factor as well, and a knit along and a crochet along. There's going to be a lot of things involved with this, so we're just nailing down the final bits of this collaboration and nailing down a date that we're going to do this YouTube thingy-majiggy, and we're going to go from there. So it'll be fun. Knit in Public Day is also June 8th, so if you don't have anywhere to knit in public, you are welcome to come to the shop. We encourage you. We have some outdoor seating. You can also bring a chair and hang out, and then when it gets too blazing hot, which will be about after 5 minutes, you can come inside and knit with the rest of us, because it's too hot to knit outside.
Yes.
So yeah, have a great day, and we'll chat soon. We'll see you in about 2 weeks. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.